If you're an artist on Spotify, your career could be over in the next 6 months. And here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to talk about, and that it's hard. This music industry is hard, it's difficult, it's discouraging sometimes. Leadership is loneliness, making music in the studio is loneliness. I interviewed an artist who has sold millions of albums, doesn't have millions of streams, has sold millions of actual albums, CDs, vinyl, and they have tens and tens of millions of streams. And I said, do you ever feel like giving up? And he's like, every day, dude, every day. And the reason we feel like giving up sometimes is because we're not getting the progress that we want. You know, we have these certain milestones or we have these certain goals in our head, and we think we should be further along than we are. But what I love about a video I saw of Alex Hormozy the other day, and he was just talking about the volume that is required to achieve success. We see videos, we see Instagram posts. Maybe you're watching this video and you think, oh, well, he just did this or he just did these things and that's why he had success. But people didn't see when I used to book tours that I would send out 50 plus emails a day. 50 plus emails a day just so I could book maybe a 10-day tour, right? Like all the songs that were written, all the stuff that nobody sees. But what I want to talk about today is, yes, you've got to put in the work, but you got to make sure things are ready before you put in the work. And so I want to talk about two things. One, what you need to do before you start running ads to promote your music and actually grow your streams, because I've heard from a lot of you, some of you have less than 10,000, some of you have 50,000, 100,000 plus, and you're trying to get to that next level. And you're here, but it's in that messy middle that sometimes we quit and we never make it to here. And that's like that 6-month gap if we don't fix what's in here. So I want to talk about what I believe you need to fix before you go to these next stages. And it goes without saying that your music has to be good, has to be awesome, right? Like before you start marketing and promoting and putting yourself out there, it's okay to do an A&R. It's okay to work on stuff just because you recorded a song and even you spend money on it doesn't mean it deserves to be released. I still write and record songs that don't get released because maybe they're just not good enough. And I want to put my best stuff out there. I don't want to just throw stuff out there. So the music has to be good. Second, before you're running ads, you want to make sure your Spotify profile and your social media is optimized. If we're about to go and promote your music and start to run ads, are you even on social media? Have you posted anything recently? Like if I see your ad and I want to go listen to your music and then I want to find out more about you, you haven't posted anything on social media in weeks or months. Maybe I think you've quit, right? I see nothing in your bio. I go to your Spotify profile. There's nothing in your bio. There's barely any pics. I don't see you singing. I don't see you in the studio. There's no Spotify canvases on your actual songs, which optimizes your profile to get more streams. Maybe I'm not even on Spotify and I go to YouTube and I look you up. There's no lyric video. There's no music video. There's no visualizer. There's no YouTube shorts. You know, there's just nothing. You're not findable. So it's like we're going to go spend all this money to promote your music and you haven't even optimized things yet to make yourself findable and for me to even connect with you, to know more about you. Because I don't know about you, when I find an artist, it's like I want to get to know them. I want to know their story. I want to dive in deep. I want to buy their merch. You know, I'm not saying you have to have merch ready, but like, again, that's just another thing. Like if a fan is a fan, which reminds me, I got to ship out a CD today. Yes, we ship CDs out. Lots of them, thousands of them every year. Yep, that's what we do. But you don't have to have merch. But again, that's just another hole in the bucket of you making your ROI back. Because again, we want to have as much ROI as possible. Another thing, which again, I need to be doing this when I'm coaching artists, is have you registered your songs? Not just with BMI, ASCAP, or SOCAN if in Canada, or if you're in Japan, Jazz Rack, or wherever your local pro is. That's really important. But again, if we're going to promote and market your songs and spend money, yes, your distributor will pay you for the master side, but are you collecting on the publishing side, the songwriting, okay, the mechanical, right? And so we use a software called Songtrust for that. That's a third-party publisher. Check them out. There's lots of them, but I definitely like Songtrust. Now, these are all the things that we want to do before we even start running ads. But I had an artist reach out to me, and again, if you want to work with me and see if we're a good fit, email me a link to your Spotify profile and just say, hey, I'm looking for some help. email it to support@smartmusicbusiness.com, and we can see if we can work together and maybe set up a campaign for you and help you get this thing running. Okay, so let's just say you've got all that stuff ready, and if you don't, that's fine. We can look at that as well too. But the point is when you go to run ads, the biggest needle mover is the song, and it's the ad creative and the way you're setting up the ads. Okay, so number one, the song has got to be dope. We got to choose the right song. It's got to be at the right part of the song when you're marketing, okay? The ad creative has got to stop people in their tracks, but it's not just going to Facebook and Instagram and hitting boost post. That's not what we're talking about here, because we're not just trying to boost posts. I do recommend boosting posts. If you have a post that crushed it, like it did really, really well, sure, throw a little bit of money behind that, see if you can get even more reach, right? But what I prefer you to do is if you have a post that does really well, take that and run that as an ad. Now, I'm not telling you just to go to Ads Manager and set up an ad, because some of you are running ads to like a playlist or something like that, and you're getting lots of clicks, but you're not getting any streams. And you're like, why am I getting all these clicks? Everybody's clicking on my ads, but my streams aren't going out. Chris, what's going on here? And number one, you're optimizing for just clicks. So Facebook and Instagram are just trying to get you the cheapest clicks possible. People who just clicked on the ad, okay? And that can get you more bots. It can just be just a click. Sure, they clicked on your ad, but did they press play? I don't want just clicks on my ad, baby. I want people to go to my Spotify, and I want them to hit play on my actual song, okay? I want them to come here, and I want them to hit play. That's what I want to optimize for. That song is called Save You. Go check it out. But anyways, I want them to rock out to the actual song, okay? I want them to hit play. And so we'll use a software like Hyped It. There's lots of other ones. But what that does is it sets up a web page that has your Spotify embedded on it. So the first click is, sure, they clicked on your ad. That's good. We want them to do that. But what we want to optimize for, and we want a conversion of, which costs a little bit more, is for them to hit play. And so we want data to fire back to Facebook and say, hey, someone actually clicked on the ad, but then they hit play. And I want that signal to go back to Facebook, and I want Facebook now to optimize and find me more people that actually hit play. Not just clicked, but hit play. There's a big difference, okay? And it costs a little bit more. You might be getting like clicks for 5 cents or even less, right? And you're like, oh, I'm getting all these clicks for really cheap. Yeah, you're getting clicks, but you're not getting engagement clicks. You're not getting plays, and we want to optimize for plays, and we want way under 30 cents. 30 cents is like the cheapest I'll let you spend more money in scale, but we want under that, right? And so you're not optimized. One of the other things I see going wrong is you're not going to a playlist. I already said the ad creative isn't right. The ad copy, I don't know how many times I have to tell artists, like, look, if you want to be creative and experimental, do that in the studio, okay? But when it comes to advertising, we want to be clear. We don't want to be clever. We want to be clear. There's another formula back in the day for songwriting called keep it simple, stupid. I shared this story where when I was just starting songwriting, I'd always write and record these songs, and I'd play them for my buddies, my producers that, I was looking up to. And I'll never forget when they would say, after they've listened to the song, they say, so what is the song about again, man? Like, what are you saying? What's it about? And I'm like, okay, I screwed up, right? And that's because I'm just trying to be really clever. I'm trying to be really unique, and I'm using these big words or these metaphors that make no sense. And the real difference between like a hit song and just an okay song, especially like just in all writing songs, it's like, okay, you can have a big hook, it could be really, really catchy, but it's those songs that really connect the dots and take you on a journey. And each lyric is just sewed together beautifully and then sets up the pre-chorus and then launches into that chorus, right? Like there's just so much impact that a song has when it's written well, where it's not like, hey, what is it about? Well, it's the same thing when I'm scrolling on social media. You got literally seconds to get my attention, and I don't have time to be confused or wonder what your song is about or what you're saying in the ad. It's like, okay, what does it say? Like, okay, check out this rock song, check out this country song. Like just simple, short, and sweet. Listen now. Okay, I can click listen now. I know what that means. I don't need to know, produced, and we used this guitar and this artist came from the depths of the oceans and it was born through struggle and da 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 da. Sure, share your story on social media, pour out your heart there. But when it comes to creating content, we want to keep it simple. We want to keep it stupid, so to speak. But keep it simple, stupid is the method, and you'll just get a lot more results. And then when we got a winner, you got to have courage to spend a lot of money on it, to now scale it, okay, and not get distracted. Because this is the other thing. Now we got to stay focused for 30 to 45 days and pump that budget, okay? Stop drinking the Earl Grey tea lattes. I'm just rocking a Earl Grey here from Singapore is where I get my tea. TWGT is where I order my Earl Grey, where I just love tea. I don't do coffee. Stay away from alcohol as well. You know, Earl Grey's never given me a hangover, okay? So anyways, let's stay focused on the video here. So you got to stay focused on the ad long enough and on the song long enough. You've got it working. It's working. Okay, so now let's promote it for at least 45 days and freaking blow it up and trigger that algorithm. Instead of going, okay, I want to move on to the next song, Chris, and the next song, and the next song, and the next song. And you're trying to do all these different things all at the same time. And then, of course, you want to quit. Why do we quit? Because of overwhelm. Why do we quit? Because we say, oh, I don't have enough time, or it gets too hard. Okay? But what I always say to artists is, look, if you can learn to start when it's busy, and you can learn to keep going when it gets hard, the next time it gets hard, you'll remember, hey, this is just part of the game. Because Chris told me, look, I can't shrink into greatness. I got to stretch, baby. I got to stretch my mind. I got to stretch my faith. Faith without works is dead, is what the Bible says. You know, show me. Jesus said, this one thing I do, this one thing I focus on. You're trying to do all these different things. You know, it's becoming like a jack of all trades, master of none. Okay? We don't want to be the jack of all songs and not have one hit. We want to focus on one freaking song and blow that thing up. Because guess what? 80% of my royalties come from 20% of my songs, right? So it's only one song that you need to freaking blow up and be huge. But I hope you heard that. Again, I want to say that again. 80% of my royalties only come from 20% of the songs. It's like the hits. It's the hits. That's what we want. We want the hits. When I sat in that car with my A&R years ago in Seattle, Washington, I'll never forget, and I started to play him the songs and tell him all these stories. He's like, Chris, just play me the hits. I don't care. I just want to hear the hits. I want to know the songs that we can just freaking blow up to the moon. I don't want all the creative ones. I want the ones that are most marketable, most commercial, that are going to impact the most lives, right? Because that's what a hit is. It impacts someone's life, and that's what we want. And that's what you should start on. And that's sometimes what some of you need help with too, is just choosing the right song. It might not be the newest one. It's about the best one. And again, when you email me at support@smartmusicbusiness.com, I'll put the link there below. I'll listen to the songs. We always do a quick listen to them and see which ones are the bangers. And I'll let you know which one I think you should start on and market on that one. But I think you also know deep down in your heart which one is the hit. And it's okay if it's not the new one. We'll use the old one to bring people to the new one. And that's okay. They're all going to get marketed the way we promote this thing. So I hope that helps.